Hey y'all, happy 2025. I am so excited to cross over into this year of opportunity and expectancy. And I was waiting. I'm like, what is my message for 2025? So I went on a walk and I was like, I need to record it now because if I wait, the day will get in and I won't get a chance to actually record this for you. So this is why I am here with my little weighted vest. And it is what it is. But so so before I share what my focus is for 2025, I want to share something it's a little personal. Um, my family, we have a history of, especially with older adults, around the holidays, we've lost people. So both of my grandfathers died around Thanksgiving, and both of my grandmothers died around Christmas. So when people get sick or ill around the holidays, it's always a little bit, ugh. And so Christmas morning, I got a text from my mother that said that she and my sister were in the ER with my 91-and-a-half-year-old father, which of course brought on a lot of angst and concern and certainly prayer. The blessing on the other side is that we still went out to celebrate Christmas and my dad was home. But I did notice just in his 91-year-old body, although he is smart as a whip, he remembers stuff from when he was like 4. So his brain and his mind are super active and great, but his body doesn't support him, right? Getting up and just watching the labor of what it takes to get him up. And my mother, who is, my dad didn't rob the cradle. I'm not going to give away her age, but, what aging and the impact that has on your independence and on your ability to do things in your 90s. And so it was just a reminder to me, again, and an inspiration and a motivation for me to be doing the practices that I need to do now. I'm training my 90-year-old body. I'm training my 95, and I say 96 is my joy span number, but I'm training it now. And so whatever age you are right now, today is important to begin to train your body for the independence, for what I call Viva, for the value, independence, vitality, and acuity that you want to have for the long run. So this year, 2025, I am not going to focus on goals, right? I'm going to focus on 3 things: identity, intention, and inconvenience, right? The 3 I's. And when it comes to identity, I have a lot of identities, right? I am Black, I'm a woman, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm all of those things. But the 2 identities that I'm going to focus in on most, all those identities are important. But for 2025, I'm going to focus in on 2. There's this wonderful book, actually, Atomic Habits, by James Clear. It's a great book just in general, for habits and behavior. But he talks about identity, and how we have to align our habits with our identity, or rather, identity informs our habits, which is amazing. So when I look at identity, it's the I am. I am blank. And the 2 identities that I'm going to focus in on, number 1 is I am a child of God. I am a daughter of the Most High King. I could keep talking about that identity, but that's an identity that I'm going to focus in on. So if that is who I am, what is my intention? What will I do? I am a child of God, so I will do these things. That's the intention part. So as a child of God, what's important? Number 1 is that I spend time. Like, that's what I'm going to focus in on, is time with my Heavenly Father. And how am I going to do that? I'm going to do that by daily being in the Word. The Word says, meditate day and night. So to make sure that it's, yummy for me, that it's snackable, that I can do it, I'm using tools. So I actually have these books. Starting Your Day Right. The light. ending your day right. These are Joyce Meyer books, but you can do anything. But that's a way that I can guarantee, it's just one scripture in the beginning of the day and the end of the day, that I can ensure that that my intention of being in the Word daily will be met because I have some resources. There are many ways to do it, right? There are devotions, there are apps. But for me, I am a child of God, so I will be in the Word daily. And then I'm going to find some time and I'm going to actually pinpoint when that's going to be, or I'm going to spend a longer time in the Word. So that's my I am and that's my I will, my identity and also my intention for that priority. My second identity that I'm going to prioritize in 2025 is I am joyfully postmenopausal. So what does that mean? That means the joy part is the bridge, right? How do we find joy? In His presence, there is fullness of joy. That's in the Word. So that's my bridge, my two I ams together. So I'm always going to plug in, right? I'm going to embrace this season. I am going to see the opportunity. I'm going to see the possibility. I'm going to embrace the wisdom and the practicality of what this season is. I read a quote the other day that menopause, you don't go through menopause, right? You enter menopause and then you live there for the rest of your life. So why not live joyfully, right? Why not live plugged in? So I'm going to make sure that I'm plugged into my joy first. Then there's this postmenopausal thing. So what do I need to do? I am joyfully menopausal. So what will I do to make sure that I have joy through this season? So the main thing is I need to focus on protecting my brain, my belly, and my bones. My postmenopausal body is estrogen deficient, right? So all of those receptors all throughout my body are no longer getting these nice, strong, rich signals of estrogen. So I need to protect my brain, my belly, and my bones because those are the things that are most predisposed. Heart as well, but I like the BBB. And if you do the right things for your brain, your belly, and your bones, all of the things that you need to do to protect your heart also come along for the ride. So I am joyfully postmenopausal. What is my intention? What is my I will? So I will, number one, and the most important thing, prioritize building muscle. I'm going to say that again. Prioritize building muscle. That is one of the most important things that you can do during this season. Why? Because it helps protect your brain, your belly, and your bones, right? It helps keep you stronger. It helps keep you leaner. It helps infuse that value, independence, vitality, and acuity. If you just focus in on the things and the tasks and the I wills to protect and build more muscle, menopausal muscle love, as I call it, then you will, again, support your identity of being joyfully postmenopausal. What does that mean? 3 things. Number 1, you have to lift weights, right? You have to challenge the muscle, right? It doesn't matter when you start doing it. You can start lifting weights in your 90s. I've seen videos. And you will actually get an adaptation. Your body wants to be strong. Your body wants to support you. So building in and having a plan to at least 2 to 3 days a week actually overload your muscles is important. I'm not going to get into all the details on this video, but I'm just leaving the nugget, leaving the breadcrumb that you must prioritize doing some strength training. And you want to do that with your major muscle groups. You want to do a push-pull with the arms, you want to do a squat stand with the legs, and you want to do a bend extend with the hips. And then there's rotation and all those things. But the most important thing is, and I will give you resources in the coming months about how to begin a strength training program. But that has to be the priority. So that's the fitness part, right? But the other thing is you need to eat protein and prioritize protein. Why? Because as we age powerfully, we are also becoming more resistant to building protein. Protein is the building block of muscle. Protein is the building block of our organs. So we have to prioritize getting protein in our bodies. The most important time to get that protein is that first meal of the day is so important that you prioritize protein and prioritize savory over sweet. So if you follow the glucose goddess, who's also wonderful, she talks about savory over sweet. What I'm talking about is protein and healthy fat over simple carbohydrate. So what does that look like? That means that we're going to have the donuts, the bagels, the cereals, all of the typical standard American diet breakfast stuff is not going to support this season of our lives. What is going to support it is protein. What is going to support it is Greek yogurt with nuts and berries. What is going to support it is a frittata or an omelet. What is going to support it is the leftovers from last night, right? So if you have some salmon or some organic chicken or any of those things, what I do in the morning is a smoothie, right? So I get my protein powder. I take the easier route, but it's a great way to get my day started. So it is a packed smoothie, with kale or collards or greens. And so I make my green leafy goodness smoothie. So we want to prioritize protein throughout the day, but especially in that first meal of the day. And you want it to be ideally at least 30 grams because that's going to help increase that muscle building. So that's the simple part, right? I am joyfully postmenopausal, so I will prioritize building muscle, which my tasks are strength training 2 to 3 days a week at minimum, as well as prioritizing protein, at least 30 grams of protein in my first meal of the day. And then the plants, right? So protein and plants. I want to get as much fiber in my body as possible. You want to aim for at least 30 grams of fiber a day. And how do you get that? Just color. Fruits, vegetables, legumes, plants, and more plants. So protein and plants is also going to support this joyfully postmenopausal season. That's it. So it's simple. And then the last thing is inconvenience, right? I'm going to lean in on inconvenience. Our bodies were not made to be sedentary. They were made to move. But this world has been created to create convenience in our world. So we drive through, right? We hit the remote. We don't get up and down. But that is, contributing to our sedentary lifestyle. So we need to build in inconvenience or lean in on inconvenience. And what does that look like? That means that if you do have to go to a drive-through, ideally it's a healthier one, don't drive through, right? Park and get out of the car. It gives your body an opportunity to move. You might have been driving for a long time, but make that inconvenience and actually enjoy. Like I'm practicing moving for my 90-year-old body. I need to walk, right? I need to keep doing those things. Another example of inconvenience, pomegranates, right? Pomegranates, when you get them like in, already de-shelled, I guess, de-peeled, they're more expensive. So I was like, oh, let me just buy the $2.99 pomegranate instead of the $4.99 pomegranate. And it is not convenient to unpeel a pomegranate, but there is so much joy and treasure in actually unpeeling a pomegranate. And it takes like 10 minutes. So I had to, commit 10 minutes to it. But I was just like, oh, wow, look at all the little jewels. And just using the time to like de-stress and unpeel the pomegranate and leaning in on that inconvenience. Put your cell phone away from your bedroom, right? Put the remote across the room. Lean in on inconvenience because we need to find those ways to move our bodies throughout the day without, adding extra time. So lean in on inconvenience is the other thing. So that's my message for 2025. What identity or identities are you going to focus in on? What is your I am? And because of that I am, once you determine what that is, what is your I will? What will I do? What is your intention? I am this, so I will do these things. And then I'm going to throw in some inconvenience. It's going to be an amazing year. I am so excited about all of the things that God has in my brain to share with you. And I'm just trying to synthesize it in a way that is super yummy and practical for you to do. 50 Faith 15 is going to be coming back just for 4 weeks just to start warming you up for what's coming probably in March. But I'm excited. Be in touch with me. I need to know what's going on. how I can pray for you, how I can support you. But let's go all in on 2025 and again, make it the best year ever. Be blessed.